Why, hello, hi, it is me, it is I, Small Time Didi, you're on the internet, and I'm back, we're back, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Thank you for returning. If you are returning, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let your people know about me. And today we are getting into, I'm so formal, so serious with you guys today. It's probably looking at it like, where did my Rakhadi go? Okay. We're just gonna have a chat about the Real Housewives of Durban. Season 3, episode 3, and we're just gonna get straight into it. Our opening scene is Slee, and she's going to a river. So picturesque. I really like it, the waterfall and everything. She's with her spiritual guide. I forget the person's name, and she's going for a cleansing. I love to see. I know, like I did a video on this very channel talking about how I'm a bit conflicted about some of the ways, our ways as African people. No, we're not a monolith, but some of our ways are sacred, right? So there's a delicate balance to strike between, what we show and what we don't show. At the same time, it's very important for us to see these kinds of images, because then it normalizes what's otherwise been stigmatized and demonized to a large degree. So it's nice to see, but there's always that conversation, when you're seeing the Gogo Mawenis of the world and everybody really trying to exploit African spirituality. We're not going to go down this path, but anyway, it got my brain thinking about those kinds of things. It's nice to see, because then it becomes like a default. It becomes our norm to see it, and it's not this jarring thing over there that organized, mostly Abrahamic religions have made our customs to be. I'm just saying that's really how I feel about this. They do a cleansing thing for her, and when they're done, her guide reminds her that your gift is something to respect. You cannot allow people to bring you out of character and do that. It's in conflict with your spirit and your guide and everything that this gift entails. You can't allow yourself to go to a certain place. It's disrespectful to your very gift. Hello? Second scene, we see Maria. I'm getting it right, her name, because last episode I was like, is it Marie? Is it Maria? It's Maria. Maria links up with anybody. Okay, I'll be calling her that. Anybody, yaddy, legs, hips. Okay. They link up. They go horseback riding. I'm surprised our darling Maria wasn't like, oh my God, I've been horseback riding, darling, because that's what she said. I got Jojo's story when Jojo had a horse and a carriage for them. She's like, I've been on one. I don't know why. She's so. Oh my God, don't say that. Do not say that. It's just you guys. I think her tagline is that her fountain of youth is the surgeon's office. Oh, she said it somewhere. I don't know if that's her tagline and stuff. Darling, you are a beautiful woman. I'll never take that away from you. I try to steer from commenting on people's physical, but she's taught. She's pulled very taut, I'm like, oh my God, can there be some expression on your face, but anyway, beautiful woman nonetheless. She goes horseback riding with Annie, cute little filler scene, and then they back at the stables, and then she sets her aside and she's telling her that, I feel like Sarisha hasn't been very welcoming of me. Annie is as puzzled as the public. I'm the public. Annie and I are puzzled as to, girl, what do you mean? Okay, then she also points out that I also wasn't invited to the launch of her spa that she opened that we had in the previous episode. That I'll be the first to say. If Sarisha had Mbali there, whom she had just met at Jojo's thing, and then she also had Sane. I actually got her name now. Our chef lady who's not a caterer. Her name is Sane. If she had those two ladies at this gathering and she barely knows them and she's just getting to know them, or she's run into them at a couple of events, why she didn't extend an invitation to Maria looks a little suspect now. But like everything else, I just feel like Maria's like grasping at straws. She studied the show. She saw that, okay, she's the well-liked character, sort of the nucleus of the group, if you would like. If you're going to come onto the show and you want to secure next season, the best thing to do is go after one of the OGs or somebody who looks like they anchor the show. It's going to be hard to get rid of Sarisha because it's going to remove the glamour element that some of us tune in for, right? That housewife element. She's really the one with the real money. So that would be the right person to pick a fight with, but it only sticks and lands when it's somewhat authentic and rooted in reality. So far, it kind of still feels like you're grasping it. Okay, great. Marie, okay, she tells her that I feel like she's been standoffish, and then she says in her confessionals, and I appreciate this, that I want her to take it back to Sarisha so that maybe then Sarisha will extend some warmth my way. I'm puzzled as to why it is she can't just reach out to Sarisha herself and be like, hey girl, I want to get to know you. Can we link up for, you know, something non-alcoholic? Because Sarisha, girl. Jojo meets, oh god, this scene was long but necessary. I actually liked the scene. Jojo meets up with Sane, the chef lady who's not a caterer. Meets up with Sane and Nonko. She's the first to arrive at this restaurant, and then Sane arrives shortly after. She orders a mocktail, I think a strawberry daiquiri. Is that what she ordered? And then Sane is like, oh, it's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world. I'll have a bottle of champagne. Like, oh my gosh, she's trying too hard, this one. She really is trying too hard, and it's heartbreaking for me to say because I think we have the same eyes. Look at me and go look at, we have the same exact eyes. We're very large hooded eyes. Girl, you are representing people with our eyes wrong out there. Damn you. Anyway, they're sitting there. Guys, Jojo, for whatever reason, is quite the instigator this season. And it cannot be in my head. She's ever the instigator. And knowing Jojo, she's going to cry. You mark my fucking words. She's going to cry at the end and act like, why is this happening? That's Jojo. Jojo's good. But watch her be a little bone carrier, little fucking shit starter, shit stirrer. We'll take this from here. Anyway, let's just get into the scene. They're sitting and they then like to Jojo, oh, have you seen Slee? Because they had that, like, you know, exchange at Sarisha's event in the previous episode. And she's like, no, I haven't. Have you seen Nondi? And then she says to her, you know, I feel like maybe she just wasn't comfortable opening up around you, Londi. That is, and you know, how you came at her was rather sideways and stuff. And then Sane goes off in her confessionals talking about, I'll apologize with the trip to Bali or Mauritius. Like, she'll choose whatever. Anyway, Thinga arrives. Nonko arrives. I felt like Jojo was trying to make Sane aware that, listen, you came at her sideways and it feels a little uncalled for. But she didn't really, she said it. That's enough, but she really didn't, you know, like, hey. Nonko arrives shortly after looking like Nonko. She sits down, and then Jojo also tried to understand what the attack, where it came from, because she asked Sane, do you guys have a relationship outside of the show prior to filming, whatever? And she's like, no, I don't really know, because we all wondered that with how she was being, or like, oh, how was your event? Like, are y'all groove buddies? What is happening? What is happening here? Are y'all groove mates? What's happening? But she's like, no, I don't know her. So Sane is slowly coming across as somebody who's either studied the shows or spent enough times on the blog, and she's come on here trying to spray people with their shit. That's the energy that she's giving me already. Nonko arrives and then immediately takes up for Londi and, you know, says to Sane, I don't feel you speak to other women like that when they down bad, because it could easily be me or you the next day, and we just don't, there's certain things that we as women avoid, like spraying each other with, especially men. This thing you guys do of like waving dick in somebody's face or when something goes wrong with a man embarrasses a woman, which is standard. It's just regular Wednesday behavior, regular Tuesday behavior, any day that ends with day behavior, regular stuff. When you take things like that and you like in another girl's face, forgetting that you are also a woman who dates men and this could easily happen to you. To which Sane replies then that she doesn't live off men, right? Essentially, I'm paraphrasing that it's not gonna happen to her because she didn't elevate in life from men and stuff. But this is really us having a conversation of like a switch up in economic class, in that Londi's partnership with this man gave her access to certain things economically, right? Because she kept talking about the cars and stuff, which is going into her, yeah, now you're not going to be driving the Raris and the Lambos and this, that, and the other. Look at you now, like you're going to go back to like not having this, not having that. Even if these things aren't being provided to you by a man, you could still like run out of luck, you know? Things could still happen. This is the world that we're living in. And it's certain things that you just shouldn't do that. But in the middle of a fight, it's a fight. Like I'm spraying you with your shit. It's like, am I being measured or are we fighting with these words, you know? But she seems to think, yo, Sane, I hope nothing ever goes wrong for you, babe. She comes across as my shit don't stink. Like my everything is airtight. Like I could never be down bad like that. Well, I worked so hard. Everything is mine. Shit happens. Life still gets the better of us. So you measure yourself with that. And then Nonku also says to Jojo, I know that Annie is your friend and everything, but I feel like she needs to be pulled down from her high horse a little bit. I feel like she's up there looking down on people, and I'm lost. I am immediately lost. Maybe I'm not lost. Maybe, okay, Nonku, I'm trying to meet Nonku where she is, you know, because I actually believe that she stopped developing at a certain point. So I always try to see things from like where I feel, whatever age she stopped growing emotionally. I'm going to assume it's 17. I always try to put myself in my 17-year-old brain and rationalize from that point of view, because she has a difficult time digesting certain things and analyzing and reading the room and all that. I think she's stunted. Her growth. Anyway, Annie doesn't look down on people. Annie doesn't rate you. It's a you and Annie thing, Nonko. Annie does not rate you. Everybody else will be very confused to hear what you just said about her, because they're getting this bubbly, I just want to dance girl, just have fun kind of girl. And if you do something she doesn't like, her wall immediately goes up. But there needs to be cause for her to do that. She doesn't rate. Like how I see you as somebody who's just like stunted, like stuck at a certain point and hard to reason with and all manner of things. You may feel like she looks down on you, but that's because of how you behave and how she's had to experience you. So it's not an Annie problem. It's a you guys' dynamic. Like you're like this and she treats you accordingly. That's just how I feel. That's my little opinion on that. And then Sane then replies to this, I don't know why I should look down on anybody. She was just a lousy secretary who slept her way to the top. I don't recall Jojo defending Annie in this moment. Right? Jojo is playing funny. I feel like she is betting on this horse that is Nonko being her ally in this thing, which already lets me know your calculations are off. Her other friendships are going to suffer as a result. Because in that moment, you're not going to talk about my mate like that. Like, we're going to have to work something out. It's also very odd to me, because did she not marry Calvin and then elevate an economic class? Right? Is it not because of Calvin that she gets to live this lifestyle? What is so wrong with marrying up? Like, what is so wrong with hypergamy? Why is it that us women who find ourselves not having the same options as the Annies of the world, as the Londies of the world, who get to, as the Georges of the world, who get to ascend an economic class by way of marriage. That is what marriage was designed for, really. It's not this "I love you so much." It's economics. It's a way to keep the assets we have within a certain thing. Traditionally, that's why we marry the way we do. It's all of this love stuff, so we could give losers a chance to be husbands. Okay, marriage was always about economics. It was always about maintaining something or growing something, and always economics, always capitalism. Okay, the pretty girl gets to marry the guy with the money because the guy with the money feels like beauty is currency and other men will like respect him. When I don't understand what the confusion actually is, right? I don't understand why we need to use this kind of language of lousy secretary who slept her way to the top. But anyway, I thought she was a go-go dancer. I don't know. Anyway, that's what she says, and then they all gasp and stuff, but nobody says you don't talk about her like that. And it goes over to Sarisha's, pulls up in something pink, standard. They go in, they sit down, have a chat for a bit, and shortly after Londi arrives in a Rari. I guess she's still being let to drive the Rari that was said she will not be driving anymore, but my girl pulls up in a cute little whip. Gets in, they sit down, Sarisha gives them tea because that's so sorry. And they get to opening up as to what happened with you and Sane. And she's like, I didn't know her. She just jumped at me, whatever. This scene was a lot for me, guys. This scene was a lot because, wow, this girl broke down. Like, my heart bled for her. When she started so they were like, what's been going on with you? And she's like, well, the last time you all saw me, I was pregnant and stuff. And they're like, yeah. She's like, it kind of just got worse from there. And she breaks down, guys, if you haven't watched this, like, just go watch this scene. This girl, this is why we tune into reality television, right? Not necessarily that we want to bond over some fucking trauma, right? The reason I don't find the Sane a pleasant watch for me, it's because it's inauthentic, right? We get it. It's reality, but it's still television, right? In that scenes are still set up and whatever, but for the most part, it's not scripted. We hope it's not, to a large degree, right? It's not. If we're saying this is supposed to mimic reality, there is no way in real life a strange woman just arrives in a group and starts wreaking havoc and then we let her stick around. Like, we're kicking her out, right? What we're doing is like coming around our friend and giving her a safe space to break down. This is how women behave. This is how we friendship. Those of you who don't have friends, this is how it works. And there are lots of you. I can't be friends with women because I can only be friends with guys because, okay, good luck with that. Fine. She breaks down. She tries to explain, guys, the things you guys go through, the things you also allow yourself to go through, right? Because the thing about using marriage to ascend an economic class is that it's not without its consequences. If I need to get my shit out the mud because I don't have the currency that is beauty, understand that elevating an economic class by way of marriage has its downsides too, right? When it's said and done, everybody gets their share of whatever fucking bullshit the man has to dish. At some point, it's your turn to take it. They tried to get to the bottom. She broke down, yes, but I don't feel like she gave us anything to work with or the reason for the breakup. Stories have been trending about Londi in the media, about her baby daddy allegedly cheating. I can't remember if they ever actually finished her lobola stuff, so I don't know if that was ever her husband. I don't know. Her baby daddy cheating, having a baby on her. She says those stories weren't true. What was happening was that they weren't finding each other. Their values weren't aligning. Their ways of going about things weren't aligning, which begs the question, how much did you know this person before you started multiplying him? Because your womb is a fucking gift, right? Giving the man the gift to immortalize him, really extend his life by way of offspring, is a fucking gift. I don't know what conversations you all are having or not having with these men before you start having kids with them as to what does parenting look like for you? What kind of morals and values do you want to instill in these children? What's your politic like? Shit like that. When you're in love or when you're being taken care of and it's cute and you're being pampered and you're in the Rari, you're not asking these questions. It's when you are in your second pregnancy and this person starts showing up like the devil he is, that you're perplexed, or that you are willing to see him for the person that he is now and how things are not working out. I mean, laundry girl, hey girl, hey. Girl, go shop your own show. If Faith can have a show with her bland personality, you can have one and you actually have a personality. Go set up, go shop for a show, laundry rebuilding, okay? She says she's never pictured herself as a single mom. There's an audience for you. Okay, all the men leave the women. All the women of South Africa are raising their kids alone. Even the ones in marriages, they're doing it alone. Okay, they are. And if they say they're not, they're fucking lying. Bite me. There's a market for you, okay? Rebuilding. We watch you rebuild. We watch you do some homemaker shit, girl. Then you can sell us like, I don't know, some homeware lines or something wholesome because you're a mom now and maybe you can't sell us lingerie, but you still can, girl. I'll buy it. But go shop a show, girl. I think you can get one. Faith has one. Faith has no personality. And I still think she's a cool chick. She's just nice to look at. You're nice to look at and you have a personality. Shop a show, girl. Okay? Anyway, she breaks down and then she says, you know, things just got worse. She left for a bit. And so Risha's like, I remember telling you that if you want to go back, and that's what friends do, you want to exhaust those options. You want to walk away feeling like I've done all that I can and it's time to walk away. And she's like, at some point I felt like I was just staying for the kids, you know? And they're still so young. I'm glad she chose herself and walked out of that situation. Didn't really give us much detail, but she just kept saying there was just no support. I know a lot of women who got pregnant. Many, who, and men say this, they sit around in circles and laugh about it. They act up when you're heavily pregnant because they're like, yeah, I can do what I want. She's like practically immobile. She won't show up. And guys, this thing of men trapping you guys with babies, hey, puts one in you too, like one after the other. That's that man trying to make sure you don't leave, because it starts all those teachings, Jabunoni, that fucking rubbish, that Kevin Samuels nonsense. Oh, who's gonna want me with 2 kids? Who's gonna do? They've been trapping you guys. You guys thinking you're trapping them in the Rari. You're actually building yourself a nice little prison. They know what they're doing. A man will definitely lock you in with some kids. Alright, okay. That's what happened. Yo guys, guys, I'm so annoyed. Guys, after this like tear-jerker of a scene, this raw, very real, very vulnerable, could not like act this, could not script this. They just gave us this nonsense of a scene of Nonko and that man. Just, yeah. Oh. I did puke a little in my mouth actually. Like. Oh my god, guys. Oh my god. We're not idiots and nobody's a fucking child here. How the fuck was this not left on the cutting room floor? How did this make the episode? How did this make it onto our television screens? Production? Really? Really? Manavale. First of all, Manavale looks broke. He doesn't even look like he smells good. There's a thing. You can look at some man and you can be like, you look like you smell good. He just looks like, we have like sort of an aerial shot. We see like, you know, a car with a bow on it. I don't know if it's a huge car. I don't know cars. It's nice, whatever, man. And then she's like on the phone and she's like, oh, where are you? Like, yo, guys, they can't act. It's staged. It's rubbish. They clearly have a friend who owns a dealership. It's like, what are the Munewa? Like, and then he drives up there. He calls her. She goes downstairs. She get guys, please. Go look at the part where she's like, like where she like comes. When she initially sees him, when she's turning a corner, he's holding like a large bouquet of baby's breath. I love baby's breath. Gypsies are my second favorite. I honestly feel like sometimes they're my faves. I'm a sunflower girl, but I love flowers. These are they died, but they died like a maroon. If you're gonna dye gypsies, I prefer you dye them something pastel. That's just me. That's a me thing. If she had gone like very pink, or he had gone very pink, but here we're not dealing like with a person of taste or anything of that nature, so we don't need to get into that. Anyway, he's holding this thing. She turns the corner and she's all like, like, guys, Nonko can't act. If I she could have been, what's her name? What's this girl's name? She also can act. She's just pretty and she's on the VJs. Nomzamo. Yeah, they should be at Isibaya together. They're the same. They do the same thing. Oh, Papa. That's no, what I'm saying. Anyway, guys, the scene is fake. This man shows up, says he bought Nonko a car. Nonko gets in the car. He becomes baby. She starts calling him baby. Did you guys hear? I'm like, wait, wasn't the initial encounter the one we saw in the last episode? And already he's like, what? He's courting you with a car. This is... Is Nonko driving that car right now? There's no pay. You guys get excited over rubbish. I saw on TikTok people being like, yo, this is what I want. What do you want? What do you want? Go ask Munewa how this ends. Go ask her. Because nobody's buying you a car. You guys are so fucking foolish. Like, guys, love bombing is something that just, even before I knew the term for it, I was like, I can't do the grand gestures, the large gifts, what are you hiding? What are you trying to distract me from looking at? I said this in the Andile video. Even when I talk about Lerato Hanyago, I always say, ooh girl, what she get this year? I don't think she got it. She got a Valentine's Day. Anyway, the point is, this was rubbish. I hated it and I don't know why it happened. Sarisha sits down with her kids. They have a little... Sarisha's trying to make Viv being on the go and unavailable a storyline, and I don't believe it. You married this man eons and eons ago. He's never had that much time for you. You like the lifestyle that you have with this man. Your kids seem to understand what's going on, but you're trying to make it a storyline. Sarisha, shut up. And then she links up with Annie. She goes over to Annie's and they're playing with Annie's dog. I think her name is Candy Floss. And she's like, oh, she looks like one of my pugs, Bentley. All the pugs look the same. They're all pugged out. Like, I don't know. Sane and I have pug eyes, don't we? Yeah. Sarisha goes over to Annie's. They talking about their pugs and stuff. Candy Floss, who's Sarisha's pug, is there, and she's like, oh my god, he looks so much like Bentley. They should have a little pug date and stuff. They go in, they have a chat, and Annie's like, that's a new girl. Where did you get her? So then Sarisha's like, no, I kept like bumping into her at other gatherings, so I just extended an invitation for this opening and stuff. I don't think that's what happened. Production told you to invite this woman, but anyway. Because you don't know the first thing about her and you were launched. This is not somebody you want to be associated with, Miss Viv. Okay, great. And then they talk about, they Google her and they find out that she was like an entertainment blogger, like, or something of that nature, and she's threatened somebody's life online, allegedly, girl. And then I think like Sarisha's like, oh, I also have to go. I must leave. I need to find something to wear for Nonko's thing. She's like, okay, have fun at Nonko's thing. See, this is real. Nonko and Annie aren't getting along. It makes sense not to extend an invitation to her. Real. Rooted in reality. Not invited for the sake of she's part of the group. Right? Great. We'll see each other group activities or when the other ladies invite us over to their things. Slee goes over to Nonko's, and I think I've made it very clear that I dig Slee. Like, I dig her proper. She does not have it in her to push through a moment that is not for her. She's real when she's upset, such that she can't even pretend for the sake of cameras. And this is what's annoying to me about Nonko. Nonko's trying to be like, oh, give me a proper hug. She's like, I don't want to. Like, can we just sit and talk about this thing? Slee says, in the last episode, Jojo accused Slee of practically coming onto her husband Calvin or being inappropriate to them by asking him to set her up, or just saying, oh, I'm single, and something to do with, are you gonna come with me to go get a tattoo? Slee then sits with Nonko and says, where did you get this from? Nonko keeps insisting that she overheard this. By the way, Nonko's confessional look is so nice. She's got this her pink confessional look. I like it. She insists that, first of all, guys, I said in the last episode that these people sat down and plotted. Because Slee says it feels premeditated. And to a degree, she admits it, because she's like, no, I had a conversation with Jojo where she let me know that Calvin, this is Jojo's husband. Calvin said that you said this and that. And now she's also saying she overheard it. So I'm like, did you overhear Slee say this? Or were you told by this couple that you're friends with that Slee said this and you guys are running with this as a storyline? Because your friend Slee seems to be very, very upset about this. And I'm not sure who to believe here, because everybody's like holding their stance. Nobody's shifting from their position. Nonko is saying, no, you said it. Slee saying, I didn't say that. He asked me, who are you married to here? Because I think there was a gathering of sorts, to which she said, she replied, this is Slee, to Calvin, I'm not married to anybody, I'm single. And then they proceeded to talk about tattoos and stuff. That's what she said, and she's sticking to it, right? And she's so angry. Nonko is also saying, no, friend, I heard you say this. So I don't know, but I think the truth will come out. By the time we're done with this season, we will know. We will know. And I think that's probably, it's gonna cause some contention between Nonko and Jojo. I see them falling out over Nonko saying, you told me to say this. I just feel like it's gonna happen. I just do. Then Slee says that, then she's like, then Nonko apologizes, to which I'm not sure what she's apologizing for, right? She apologizes for, I don't know what but she's like, I got you a gift. And then in the confessional, we see Slee holding this dress. She's like, I'm gonna send it back. Like, it's not really my size or anything. But I think Slee just doesn't want that woman's anything near her, or her energy, or an object that comes from her, because it's far too upsetting. Because I came onto the show, you were my segue, you were the way in here, and then you just throw me under the bus the moment we got in here, and I thought I knew you, like I thought we were friends. Like, this woman's really hurt. Like, geez, Nonko. Blondie comes in to say hi. This is like the most, it's a nice way to close a chapter and leave room for you to come back. When you don't leave very abrupt and very angry and very whatever, you leave enough room for you to come back and fix your stuff. So it looks like she had actually come back to tape a couple of episodes and then head back to Gauteng, I think she said. She drops by at Annie's. Annie's wearing that very viral, very popular Zara dress, this like slip dress that has this thing by, like, it's really nice. It's for the skinny girls, they make everything for the skinny girls. Good for you guys. They sit down, they have a chat, and she's like, yeah man, I gotta get going, just like being back here has also been a lot for me here in Durban. I gotta get back to like my life. I have things set up that I need to. I think she said she's going back to Witbank, and then she's gonna tidy up there and then head to Johannesburg to do whatever it is she's gonna do there. I feel like we're not hearing the last of Blondie. There is plenty to hear from her. Her exit was very graceful. I like that. I wish we'd got like similar exits for let's see. I miss her. I do. She's a mess. Miss her. We didn't see Mbali this episode and we did not miss her. Okay, Blondie's celebrating her celibacy or the end of it, or both. I think she's celebrating that she did stick to her goal of being celibate for a year. I know a lot of women like doing this, like even longer. Like men make it so easy to tonana. Have you guys realized? Like demanding with your cuckoo is so easy. Like men talk themselves out of cookie every day. They're just such a mess, such an embarrassment. Like not sleeping with men is actually one of the easiest things to do. Sleeping with men is the task. Just a mammoth task. Okay, guys, there is literally celibacy talk. Like I end up on sides of TikTok where people are talking about, oh, I've been like celibate for this long, I've been whatever, and it's not even religious. It's just realizing that these men ain't shit. But you know, Magolonko's headed back out there with this like man. Oh my God, that's who he looks like. He looks like Mufasa. No, Scar. Fuck, what was I saying about? He looks like Scar. Scar from The Lion King. Huh. Who knew me? Anyway, an uncle's man. That's what I'm talking about. He looks like Scar. Anyway, Scar's kind of hot though, like, but this one's not hot. It's different. Okay, bye. Let me let go of this. Everybody's showing up to the party. Maria shows up with her handbag friend, and then you guys, Jojo's makeup, it's Arabian Nights. That's the theme of the celibacy party. Jojo's eye makeup is so good in the scene. It's so good. Oh, she arrives at the thing. They're all sitting around. They get to chatting. Sane comes up again, and Maria's like, I have to meet the Sane. It keeps coming up because she wasn't at Sarisha's party, so she's not aware of everything that had transpired and stuff. She's aware of what had transpired but doesn't know the person. Sarisha arrives with balloons in hand, dressed in theme and everything, and something happens here. She arrives, she gives Jojo a hug, she hugs the guy that came with Maria. Guys, go back and look at it. As Maria's standing up, the camera just cuts that scene. It's almost like they're trying to feed this narrative that Sarisha is not trying to get to know this woman. We don't see Sarisha make nice with Maria, but there is no way she hugged the two people sitting with Maria and didn't hug her. But it's deliberate. And I hate it when somebody says, this is what happened, and then they pick and choose when they're gonna flash back a scene to us. For instance, if Sarisha is saying she like engaged with her at the soiree, why is there no flashback footage to show us that they did engage? Like, yeah, stop trying to overproduce the show. Just stop. You know? They sit down, they get to chatting, and then Sane arrives as they're chatting, and it turns out that Maria knows her. She's like, no, I know her, and it turns out they go to the same gym and everything, because she's like, I've been wanting to meet this lady, but it's this lady. I actually know her. As they're doing their intros and they're talking Sane and Maria, Jojo pulls Sarisha aside and then says that this woman said this about Jojo. But Jojo had also said this to Maria, and Maria was like, you have to tell your friend. If you're saying you're friends with Annie, you have to tell her. To which Jojo replies, yeah, but I also like Sane. You don't know Sane. You don't know her enough to like her. You just know that she had a tiff with a person you also had a little bit of a tiff with, and now you're making now you feel like she's an ally, right? Because you got into it with Slee a little bit over being called a caterer, and now you're like gonna make friends with her. You don't know her. You don't know her. She could easily like tear you down tomorrow. So what do you mean? Annie, you know. you formed some kind of bond and some kind of relationship with her. And then she's like, and then Maria says to her, but like if she's sitting around saying that about Annie around you, when you're not there, then she's bound to say something about you. So is that the type of person you really want to keep around? So as Sane is exchanging pleasantries with Maria, Sarisha and Jojo go to the side, and Jojo then says to her, she said that Thinga is a lousy secretary who slept her way to the top. And Sarisha had said to Annie at Annie's home that I'm gonna avoid being in close proximity with this woman. Like I'll just leave if she arrives. And then she uses this as an excuse to then leave, right? And then as she's leaving, Jojo goes back to the ladies and she's like, yeah, Sarisha's leaving because I told her that you says this to Sane. Sane then denies it. Now it's convenient for production to flash back the footage of her saying it. They can never flash back any other thing, just this. And she said it, and she's like, no, she did it, she's denying it. That's the thing. When the champagne is flowing and you're talking reckless, talking out of your neck, just doing all manner of things, you end up just saying anything because you want to seem so cool, so relevant, so, yeah, you just say anything. You just, now you don't even remember the fucking shit you said. You said it. And the words of Jocelyn, they rolled the footages. We saw the footages. You said it. And then she starts calling Jojo. She then says that in her confessional that, you know, Jojo's a little bit of a snake. Like, what were you saying when I was saying this? The footages were to, like Jocelyn, the footages would have us say that Jojo wasn't really adding anything. She wasn't defending her friend, but she definitely wasn't adding anything. So I don't know how she's going to come away from this. She doesn't, Sane that is, she doesn't seem like a person who hides from, do you know who's awkward? Nonku and Scar. Yeah. Their chemistry is off. Because it's a lie. But that's it. That's what happened this episode. We continue in the next episode from this thing. It was a good episode. It was decent and stuff. But yeah, plenty of seeds planted here that should sprout out in the next in the season to come. But I think this is the last we saw of Blondie, and it was a nice goodbye. A little bit sad. Like I wanted to watch her, you know, phoenix moment and rising from the ashes and stuff. But hopefully we get to do that through other ways. So, but that's it, Chella. Bye, hello.